Definitely.
Welcome to Café is for Closers, the show where sales stops feeling salesy. I'm Mego, and every week we break down real conversations, real objections, and real wins so you can turn pressure into partnerships and close more deals the right way. So grab your coffee, aka your café, and let's jam. What's up, guys? I have an incredibly special guest today. My man TOYIN here. I'm going to let him introduce him in a second, but I want to hype him up for a bit. I've been, for you guys that maybe just following, I've been in the remote high ticket space for like 6 years. And I've been through so many programs, and I met TOYIN in Bill Walsh's program, the elite version of Objection Box. Fantastic program. Been like 3 years, like seeing this man just completely crush it. Full stack savage, absolute wizard at what he does. And it's cool, like to bring other people that are like, pursuing mastery in this line of work and pick their brains and have TOYIN share a little bit about his story with us and with all you guys following here. So stoked to have you, brother. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what brings you on.
Thank you for the intro, Andres. So I've been in sales for 21 years now. 21 years. So
Longer than some of these closers have been alive.
literally, yeah. I started off as what is now called a setter for like a mortgage company.
Okay.
And from there, I went on to selling a load of low ticket. And then 7 years ago, I had my first high ticket job.
Mm-hmm.
And I was essentially just given a laptop with some leads and a cell phone and was told just make money.
Nice.
So I went from selling $2,000 central heating systems to selling 100K, 200K deals on the phone.
Like on the phone?
On the phone, yeah. No training, no nothing. Had to just self-teach.
Yeah.
Reading books and stuff like that. And then I thought, I'm pretty good at this. And then the rest is history.
Damn. Okay. So you got thrown in the deep end, like the deep end. But before we go into like your sales experience and your background, if you're cool with sharing, man, because I've seen one of the things I admire about you is that you're a family man of 5.
Mm-hmm. 5, yeah.
And you're a married man. You have a beautiful family, and it's cool to see you juggle all the hats, because our industry, a lot of young kids coming in wanting to make a buck. Heaviest is the head that wears the crown. But like they don't have the level of responsibilities that you do. Could you share a little bit about just your personal life, who you are outside of sales?
Yeah, man. So father of 5. My oldest is 19. My youngest is yeah. I know I don't look old enough, but
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, my youngest is 2. And you're definitely right, man. I've been wanting to do a post for a while saying, if you think it's hard running a sales team, try running a family. And it definitely has its challenges, especially if you're selling on American offers. Obviously, I'm based in England. Mm-hmm. So you've got to be a parent 24/7, but then you've got to, be a closer for the hours that you're doing as well. It's definitely the most rewarding thing. And it is obviously hard as well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everything I do is for them. So that's what keeps me in the pocket when someone throws an objection at me. So.
Beautiful, man. That's like the beautiful embodiment of having that inner why. Mm-hmm. So I guess like before we go into more of the sales stuff, how has it been in your personal journey being in, selling high ticket offers for over 7 years? How's it been balancing this line of work with a family of 5?
It's been difficult. So as you know personally, I wasn't just a closer. I was the setter, I was the closer, and right. I was fulfilling as well.
Yeah.
So for those watching, I was setting appointments for property investors and then taking money off them up front. So like 10K for like a fee. And then I had to go and find the property and then sell them the property as well, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not as if I could just like log in and I've got 7 calls that are booked and then close the call and then that's it. Mm-hmm. So anytime, evenings, weekends, my phone could call and, there's a problem with a property or something like that. Mm-hmm. And like actual closing was maybe 30-40% of the actual work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, at the time I was only getting paid 5% as well.
Right.
Yeah. Big deals, but you know, 5%.
Yeah.
And then obviously I joined Objection Box, and I realized I learned about this world, and I learned that what I'm doing is called high ticket sales.
Right.
I learned that it is standard to be paid, you know, 10%.
So you didn't know about this industry until you joined the box?
I did not have a clue.
No shit.
Yeah. Also, I was working from the company's office as well. So it's not an offer, it's a proper company that's been there for like 15 years. So I had a 1 hour commute on the way there and a 1 hour commute on the way back as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. That's why I left New York, because I had quite a long commute, and I pursued remote work. How did you find Bill stuff?
Good question, man. So I never had any intention of like doing sales training or anything like that. And then one day someone said to me, "Oh, have you heard of this guy called Jeremy Minor?" So I followed him on Instagram, and I was mind blown. I was like, "Oh my God, look at all these what we now call word tracks and just this thought process behind sales." And I must have watched 2 years worth of stuff from him, and I still had no intention, no thought of investing in sales training.
Yeah. And
then I saw one reel from Bill.
No shit.
One reel. And it wasn't even about sales. It was him saying, what would I as a 30-year-old tell my 18-year-old self? And it wasn't even about sales. It was just like life in general. Watched that. Went onto his page. And then I saw a video of Ahmed, funny enough, we know Ahmed, explaining that he went from a 20% close rate to like 70% or whatever. And then I booked the call. Didn't really know what to expect going into it. Didn't know what the price was going to be, that type of thing.
Yeah.
The price was about literally 10 times what I thought it was going to be. Literally.
And who did you talk to? Who closed you?
James Hayes.
Jimmy, legend.
And we still speak about this to this day, that I really wish I could see that call, because my life changed on that call.
Wow.
Not in the program, on that call specifically.
Yep. That's how it starts, man.
Yeah. And the reason why is because I gave him every objection you could think of. Every objection you could think of. And he made me realize on that call that essentially the objections aren't real. And the fact that, which is kind of explaining, I'll go into it a bit later on if you want to, about my objection handling process. But the objections I gave are the reasons that I needed to do it. And something switched. And so he closed me. I went home. I explained to my wife, look, we're not going to be able to get the kitchen. We're not going to be able to go on holiday. I'm going to be home even less. But trust me, if this works, you know, I'm going to go from making $2,000 a month to 20 grand a month.
So you were making like two to 3 grand a month back then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you had 5 kids already.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So we were just like living month to month basically. And then within, I think 2 months, like I just wasn't really getting it. I've got pretty severe like ADHD.
Yeah.
I find it hard to retain information. Like it took me 8 times to pass my driving test. That's how dumb I am, right? And then one day it just clicked. And I think the reason it clicked was that I handled my first objection. And I was like, hold on a minute. People can go all the way from I'm not doing it, or I need to think about it, to yes, I'm going to commit to a 200K thing.
Right.
And then I had my first 20K month. So I went from literally to £1,800 to 20 grand. And that was it.
It's all over after that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. It's cool, man. Like a few things to reflect back. One, how small this industry has become the longer we've been in it.
Yeah.
Like to be like, you know, James is coming on to do a training with my community next week. And it's like cool. Like at one point seeing him as like a coach and someone I was learning from, and now like as a peer is really cool.
Yeah.
But then also like for you, like you said something that really reminds me of, I didn't get into sales through a program, through a sales program. I started from a personal development program But my objection was I didn't have any money. And my friend's like, well, that's why you need to level the fuck up and stop wasting your life. And that was like something that like I've just kept in my head as my own objection handling process is like the objections you're giving are, like you said, are why you need these changes.
Yeah.
So you went on, you had your 20K banger month, and then that was what, dude, how long were we in the box? Like 3 years ago?
Like 3 years ago, yeah. And then July the 1st, 2024, which was my 5-year anniversary at the property company, was when I made my first 30K a month.
Okay, your 5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay. Big 30K. And then I'm curious, actually, what shifted for you when you hit 30K?
Ooh, I was hoping you weren't going to ask that because there's a pretty deep answer to that, and it's not a good. Well, it's not a nice thing. So I actually had a bit of fuck it, I'm just going to say it. I had a bit of a mental breakdown. Yeah, I had a bit of a mental breakdown. Imposter syndrome. Okay. Do I deserve this? People are saving people's lives, running into burning buildings that don't make this money. It must be temporary. I must have got lucky. I mean, I couldn't have got lucky for 5 years, but that kind of stuff. So then that led me to having to do other work, to essentially give myself permission to allow reality to catch up with me. So I've been working with Bogdan for that kind of stuff. And yeah, so it's interesting. I see that with a lot of reps actually, that their performance kind of goes like this and then drops down for like maybe a couple of weeks because they're like, do I deserve this? This isn't real, etc.
Right.
And then slowly gets back up and then levels out.
It levels out.
So it was pretty interesting. I think there was also a case of having a goal, like having that made up number from seeing other people post stuff and, from the coaches in the box and knowing what they make and stuff. And it was almost like getting to the top of the mountain and then needing a new mountain and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
But now I realize that it's just a never ending series of mountains. Like there's always a next step. And a bit like when we had the Dublin event for Objection Box, and I remember Bill said, look to your left, look to your right. Nothing will ever be enough for that person or something. Like nothing will ever be enough sort of thing. I think that there's a reason people are in sales in the first place. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well said. First of all, thanks for being real. I think it's easy to get caught up in like, I did all these things, I bought all these things, but I've experienced that myself with like just the constant shattering of financial ceilings that come with all like the mental like questioning. And I think for me, like just with my upbringing and like things I've experienced, like it just took me a while to like get my head around 20K is like actually doable for me, and like I could stay there, and then like you said, like that I deserved it and I earned it, because there are other people that sacrifice their lives and don't make anywhere near that. Right. Yep. And that's like one milestone. Then 30K became another. And then for me personally was like one of my bigger months, realizing like nothing changed. Like this was like a milestone that I've been working towards for so long. And aside from like putting money in the bank and like paying off some debt from all the coaching programs, like not much else changed. It's just like, it was just like almost inevitable from the consistent repetition and just belief that it was going to happen. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And I don't know how deep to sort of go into this, but in the process, I discovered this whole minimalism mindset and lifestyle. And it's interesting because I've said to my wife once, like, I don't understand how people will spend X amount on such and such thing. Like, that's ridiculous. And she said, yeah, but imagine if you were like a billionaire, you probably would spend like 10 grand on some silver knives and forks, for example, right? Now, that hasn't happened. However, the lifestyle creep definitely got to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Things just became normal that are just not normal. The amount of holidays, the the expensive meals out, which I think you probably saw on my stories, right?
Those steaks.
Yeah.
Those steaks.
And I think that, yeah, a trap a lot of closers fall into, what I'm getting around to here is that when they make 20 grand, it's the first time they've ever made that. It was probably what they even used to make in a year, you know?
Right.
And then the lifestyle creeps up. And then the reality of sales, in terms of externally anyway, kicks in. And that then causes anxiety because my life is now here where the money was, but then, you know, I've got to keep up with that.
Yeah, you have to keep up with it.
Yeah. And I think Ahmed said in one of his YouTube videos recently, something I think is pretty interesting. I think that as a closer, you go through 3 different, I guess, seasons of what you're trying to optimize for and what you're looking for in an offer as well. So obviously, I've got into it a bit differently from most people. They might start off as a setter or whatever on like an actual, you know, internet-based offer. But I think the first offer or the first season is about getting experience and, you know, and to make a bit of money, of course, and build a bit of a reputation. And then the second season is optimizing for make as much money as possible. And then you hit that 30K, that 40K, even 50K. You see how it isn't that much difference in terms of your actual life. And you then start to optimize for the third season, which is, I don't want to call it work-life balance, but fulfillment. And when I was doing the, you know, the inner work, I realized that there was a question I was basing my entire life on. The question that was running through my mind every day, which is how can I make as much money as possible? How can I make more money? And I've now switched that question to how can I get more fulfillment from my already amazing life? So it's not about trying to get to 100K a month for me. It's about trying to keep the same 40K a month, but with less hours.
Massive. It's a huge reframe, man. And this is the kind of stuff that excites me to talk about in these podcasts. Like we can talk about like, you know, stroke your ego about how good you are at like, you know, handling objections. You make 40 grand a month in commission. Like you're fucking good at what you do, but sales will test you. That's why I tell my students, it's just as much of a personal development journey as it is a financial journey. Right. Because with every level, like you probably heard this, right? Every level, there's a new devil.
Yeah.
Right.
Kurt said
that. Challenges you in so many ways. It's like not even like, so you're getting challenged on the good months, right? Because it's questioning your identity. But you're also getting challenged when shit sucks and you're getting your balls kicked in, right? So at all sides, you're just consistently getting tested and it just molds you into a complete different human. Do you think you'd recognize TOYIN from 7 years ago?
Nah, definitely not.
Why not?
Definitely not, man. Just a completely different person. I had such little self-belief. I didn't believe that I deserved success. I believed that I had a lot of different beliefs around money as well.
Yeah.
You know, I believed that money was reserved for a different type of person who's from a different type of background, or you must have gone to university or whatever. And then, you know, I have 0 formal education. I left school at 13. So I don't know what that is in America, but here, like, I don't have any GCSEs, college, anything.
And you popped out your first kid at what, 15?
Well, 19 years ago, and I'm 37. So yeah, man, no, completely different person. And it's interesting because sales literally is responsible for the change that's happened. Not the other way around.
So, can you speak into that? Because that's one of the things that I like bringing to surface on these like interviews is like how sales and because sales, like your craftsmanship with sales is like you improving your communication and your ability to influence and persuade. So how have you seen that directly impact outside of like the financial gain, other areas of your life?
Well, put it this way, my 4-year-old Nola, I pretty much have to objection handle her every fucking day. She's definitely going to be in sales. Like my other kids are going in the direction of their mum, who's a tradeswoman. But Nola's definitely going to be in sales, I think, or some sort of sales. It's definitely made me learn that you've got to listen more than you speak, and Communication is all about the impact it has on the other person, not the intent that it comes from. What else could I say to that? I think everything is sales. Like everything's a negotiation.
Everything's a negotiation.
Everything is sales, basically. Yeah. And I'll tell you what else it's taught me. It's made me aware of nervous system regulation. You know, so when I used to have a quote unquote A type, you know, I'd feel that anxiety and stuff like that. So I had to learn to hide it, to not show it. You know, I'm not ashamed to say that I have anxiety as well. My mother passed away 7 years ago, and since then I've had this anxiety around like thinking I'm going to die and shit. Got to a point where I was having like 7-8 anxiety attacks per day.
Whoa!
And they'd happen on calls. So I had to get not because of the call, but just completely random.
Right.
And I had to hide it. I had to hide it on calls. And then a guy that I closed, who happens to be in sales as well, but he was like corporate sales, medical sales, but I closed him on the property offer. I had an anxiety attack that was so bad. And I told him, I said, look, I apologize, putting the payment through, but just letting you know I'm having an anxiety attack. And he was like, oh, you should use that. I said, what do you mean? He said, have you ever heard of the tactic in sales called disarming honesty? I was like, no. And so from then on, whenever it happened, I just told the prospect. I said, sorry, you can probably see this is happening right now. Still going to handle your objection though. Go on, tell me it.
So not only were you handling objections with, which for I think a lot of earlier reps gives anxiety, but you're also actually having an anxiety attack that you had to calm your nervous system through and then do the job. Wow.
Yeah. So I think sales exposes who you are.
It does.
Essentially.
There's no hiding.
It exposes what you need to fix in yourself.
Yeah. There's no hiding. There's no, because it's like, that's what I'm learning like in entrepreneurship, right? And sales is essentially entrepreneurship. It's just you versus you every day. So there's no hiding because there's no earning unless like you overcome whatever hesitations you have to go out and get it.
Yeah, like so many, it's interesting that one of my students at the moment, this is going to be long-winded, but I'm getting to a point. When he came to me, he was at literally 0 a month. He had 85 calls in a row and didn't close a single one. 85.
And he didn't get clipped somehow.
No. I think it's because the offer owner maybe had beliefs that there was something wrong with the offer as well. And they really liked him and stuff. But
wow, 85 strikes.
85 calls. And the business owner was taking calls himself and was closing at about like 20%. So like it could be sold. So it wasn't the offer. He just did 24K last month.
Nice.
His close rate's not amazing. Anyway, the point I'm getting to is that what I'm working on with him right now is simply getting better at his pre-call process and to do his damn follow-ups and to do his own outbound.
Like the job.
Now going back to the thing about not hiding, a lot of closers just don't want to do any outbound. They know what to do to make more money, which is to do more outbound, do your follow-ups. But then the marketing of the sales coaches has got to them.
Exactly.
Because every sales coach has their own angle, right? Like, you know, one coach is saying it's all about objections. Another coach is saying don't have a script or whatever. They have to find an angle. And then I think that gets to them. And then there's this shame around being a full stack sales rep. And there's no such thing as an inbound closer. You're a salesperson.
No.
You know? Nope. And when I came into this space, again, I didn't realize, hang on a minute, you guys are getting 10% and the call's already on your calendar and you get paid straight away. I had to wait 9 months to get paid.
You waited 9 months to get paid out?
Yeah, because it's a property deal. You have to wait for the mortgage and all that kind of stuff.
Wow. 9 months for 5 points.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yes, it was all recurring.
You nailed it too, though, with the marketing angles that sales trainers, or maybe not even just sales trainers, but the loud marketers that get people into the industry, sell them on the completely wrong expectations. and I say this all the time, like sometimes half jokingly, if sales was sold for what it is, 80% of people wouldn't come into this industry.
Yeah.
You're going to get rejected every day. You're going to question yourself. There's going to be weeks that you're not going to make squat, right? You might lose your job here and there. Some offers are going to be full of shit. Have at it. $5,000. You want in?
Yeah. And yeah, because there's a lot of coaches out there saying, oh, just take 2 calls a day from your laptop on the beach and you'll make 10K a month. I even saw one, I think you might have done a post about it. I won't name who it was, but it was a lady I think she's in Miami, and it was like an advert for like a webinar. And she's like, oh no, people are going to turn up card in hand, ready to pay.
Card in hand. I did do that. Yeah.
Man.
And dude, those I've actually got texts or messages from people that are like, hey, I really like your honesty about, you know, what it takes to actually make any money.
Disarming honesty. See,
it works at all times. And they've all messaged me like, you know, I've been a part of so and so's programs, and unfortunately, it was just like a waste of money. I learned nothing about the skill set. Like, I just got access to a job board. So, you know, one thing I've seen with a lot of, because I work with a lot of women, tons of women and female sales reps that all, like, I'm really proud of, like, their ability to progress. Victoria, who I've been talking about a lot lately, she had like a 40K commission month, like her 3rd month into high ticket. Adele, another one of my students, just cleared like a 30K month here in November. And the things that they have in common is they work their fucking ass off. They will pick up the phone and self-set. They will clean up like their pipeline. They will do their follow-up, their test blast. They will do their triage and like send out pre-call resources. And like one thing I'm really proud about the girls in my community is like we've like coined this term like full stack, or we don't want it, because that's what it takes to make real. And you know, because your skill set in one call closing is a constant evolution. Think about how many coaches like we've both invested in. I think you've worked with more coaches than I have, right? It's a constant evolution, and a constant development. But you can still make good money on your way up that, but just by doing the job, doing it well, and outworking everyone around you, you know? But it's like, that's what it takes. And I think people don't have a reference point, kind of like you. Like, I had a background in sales in a call center before I got into high ticket. That's why I think people from door to door do really well. They come from like knocking on doors in like Houston summer heat, you know, and they come on here like, wait, I just have to hit the phone all day. Versus the people that are sold into, yeah, you can just sit back, take 2 calls from the beach. Like, who's gonna crush it? Like, even if they have less skill, yeah, like the amount of output that they can maintain, way more than your ability to just wait around for 1 call and close it because you have a 50% close rate on 4 calls a week. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's really important to talk about. It's like I feel like it turns people away, but like I think it's a good thing, because if you're not willing to do that, you're gonna get smoked in this industry. Sales in general.
I think as well, something that I haven't really heard anyone talk about is that closers can get lucky on their first offer where the marketing is amazing. There's a triager that should be a closer because they're really, really good. And they just come on, they just get onto the offer. They're closing at 60% straight away. And then maybe a year or 2 later, that offer's gone. They then got onto what I would call a proper offer where, you know, you sell into completely cold ads, for example, and then they're closing at like 10%. And then they're like, holy shit, this is hard. And then instead of getting the training to be able to handle that, they then say, this isn't for me. And then they dip out.
Yeah. So they either offer hop and then they get nowhere, because offer hopping is like just nail in the coffin, right? You don't give yourself enough time to learn the avatar, the nuances, or even ramp up. Give yourself 30 days to like build up momentum, and you're already quitting. So that's spot on. I saw that a lot with like during this last crypto run, right? All like the young closers that were selling crypto programs. So the market was hot. Now the market's like slow down. A lot of them in my DMs like, yo, you got any offers? Like,
yeah,
you're posting about 20K months, man. You should be able to land an offer if you're actually good.
Well, I've got a question for you actually. What's your opinion on people's selling styles working for some offers but not working for others? Because I won't name names, but there's a couple of people who we both know who they're definitely killers, and they can easily make 40K a month on certain offers, and then they've gone on to a different type of offer and they've completely failed, and then they've pretty much had like an identity crisis after it.
Yeah.
When really the offer just wasn't right for them. And the thing that's making me ask you this question is there was a video from, I think he's called Eric Klein, he's like a property guy in America, and he was basically dissing Jeremy Minor, saying this doesn't work. And I filmed a reaction video to it. I'm going to post like tomorrow, saying that my opinion is that it all works when you think about any of these coaches. Like it all works if you do it.
It all works, yeah.
But then certain people's personalities are going to go with one selling style and not go with another, and therefore certain offers are going to work for some people and not with another as well.
I agree with that. Being like on the side of like sales, not necessarily sales management, but on the growth operating side, also like I fell in love with systems throughout this journey. I full-heartedly agree with that. And one myself, like there's been offers that I've crushed on, and there's been offers I've gone on. And I'm like, did I get lucky for the last 4 years? Right. And then especially when the management isn't there to like correct you, and it's just you siloing, like giving yourself feedback, but having no external direction. Like I think you can go down a quick negative spiral. So I know I've experienced that myself, but I've also, he's a friend of mine now. He's one of seventh level's top producing reps. He was one of the reps there that had multiple 100K commission months. And he went from doing that. They moved him to another offer, I think, because seventh level or sales sniper, I can't remember, was more of an agency. And then he bombed on the next one. Right. And so he had this drive, like, I'm going to figure it out. But the manager was like, yeah, but like, I can just put you elsewhere. You can just start producing because we know you're good. So I full-heartedly agree with that.
Yeah. And the reason it's interesting, going back to what you mentioned about, going to different coaches and stuff like that. The reason I've invested in so many coaches isn't necessarily because something was, I don't know, missing from one of them, or that there's a quote unquote better coach, but because I want to be able to sell anything to anyone. So I can sell to the high net worth people on the property investment offer, using the language that they speak in, but I can also sell to the 18 to 25 crowd who were trying to get to the first 10K month. Yeah. But if you take a closer who's, telling these people heavy's the head that wears the crown, and then they try telling that to a millionaire who's saying, look, I need to ask my wife to spend 200K. They need to have the emotional intelligence to know when to switch it up and how to speak to who's in front of them.
Bingo. Yeah.
Which is what I cover in my program.
Heyo, coming soon. Coming soon. About fucking time, bro. We'll have you before we wrap up. You can drop your socials, get people to like know who you are. I also think you kind of nailed it. Like EQ in sales has been a huge. I think that like I did an emotional intelligence program that like got me into sales unintentionally, but I think that's why I came out the gate doing decently well, because like I understood like humans, like reaction and their language. And then when I added sales specific training on top of that, that's where like my bigger months started coming. I think emotional intelligence just in a man's personal life in general is, one, in the US is highly missing, but two, so needed, because not only will you see it impact your personal life, like your personal relationships, but then you bring it into the sales world, you start making more money.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not siloed. Can't be siloed. Last question for you, man. I've really enjoyed this conversation. We'll have you, like I said, we'll have you drop your socials before we wrap up here. But from all the training you've done, like the decades of sales experience, can you boil down things that you've learned into like a couple sentences?
Ooh, that's a hard one, especially to do it live.
Maybe not sentences, but I asked this to our previous guests, like, are there mantras that you live by based on the experience and like the coaching that you've received? I'm
not there to convince them to buy. I'm there to ask them powerful enough questions to get them to realize if they should buy. If they shouldn't, that's fine.
Well said. Awesome, man. Well, it was a pleasure to have you. I really enjoyed like talking about the personal side. Like I said, I think you're the only closer I know with 5 kids who's also a top producer and really good at what you do. And I appreciate you being raw and real, and just like, I think people really need more of the reminders of the not so good side of sales, so they can humanize it, right? Otherwise, the 30, 40K killers out there, like, you don't realize what it takes to get there. And if you're willing to like go through that pain for an extended period of time, like, it becomes inevitable. So thanks for sharing that side of you, man. If people want to find you, what's the best way for them to do that?
So the best way is my Instagram, which is TOYIN Closes.
TOYIN Closes, no spaces? No
spaces, no dots.
Cool. If you hire TOYIN for coaching, make sure you know you found him through me, so I get my referral kickback. Thanks for coming on, man. We'll roll the outro, and I appreciate your time, brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for hanging out on Cafés for Closers. Be sure to subscribe to the show to never miss out on a conversation. See you next time.